I hope that the government is listening. Again, may their souls rest in peace. Let's now highlight this investigative report by the cable's open source intelligence analysis, which revealed that certain social media echo chambers affiliated with the indigenous peoples of Biafra have played significant roles in amplifying claims of a Christian genocide in Nigeria. Well, according to the cable, data from X showed that between January 1st and October 1st, 2025, there were approximately 165,000 mentions of the topic, reaching an estimated 2.83 billion people, a figure more than 12 times Nigeria's population. Four prominent hashtags emerged: hashtag Christian Genocide, Truth Nigeria, Lara Logan, and Biafra Exit Now, which was an unusual part of the discourse. Confidence Makhari, a senior geopolitics analyst at SBM Intelligence, stated that the story about Christian genocide in Nigeria was initiated by IPOB as far back as 2016. The analysis found that X accounts promoting Biafra and NNAMDI KANU were the most vocal online, particularly those supporting IPOB's separation from Nigeria. The cable also found that U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, who has pushed for sanctions against Nigeria, received $1.8 billion in donations from IPAC, a pro-Israel lobbying group. I mean, this investigation reveals, complex layers of international politics, separatist agendas, and religious narratives intersecting in Nigeria's security discourse. RUFAI, we're hearing that IPOB is one of the groups that have promoted this hashtag Christian genocide, but I mean, we have seen major killings. But before I come to you, I'll take this story. Meanwhile, the Christian Association of Nigeria has faulted the statement released by a special advisor to the president on policy communication, Daniel Bwala, after a meeting with the association in Abuja. The dispute centers on how Bwala characterized KAN's position on allegations of Christian genocide in Nigeria. On Monday, Bwala visited KAN's National Secretariat amid allegations of Christian genocide and moves by some U.S. lawmakers to protect persecuted Christians. In his statement, Bwala quoted KAN President Daniel Oko as referring to the issue as so-called Christian genocide narrative. However, in a statement on Tuesday, Oko said the association did not describe the killings as so-called Christian genocide, stating that Bwala's release falsely suggested that the association downplayed the killings of Christians. And I'll read KAN's statement in part. The Christian Association of Nigeria wrote, KAN made it clear that its position on this issue has long been established and remains unchanged across many parts of northern Nigeria and the Middle Belt. Christian communities have suffered repeated, organized, and brutal attacks, which have left thousands dead, villages destroyed, and families displaced. The meeting was recorded by KAN's media team, and at no point did Archbishop Oko use such words or express such a view, while referring to the tragedy as a so-called genocide, trivializes the pain of countless Christians who have lost loved ones, and that is a fact, RUFAI. We often raise concerns about government communication strategies. This is yet another example. This is a sensitive topic and should have been, handled with the sensitivity it deserves. The portrayal of religious community positions on sensitive national security issues shouldn't be trivialized. Meanwhile, religious leaders and activists attending a roundtable in Abuja on building synergy among faith-based NGOs for freedom of religion or beliefs have criticized the widespread culture of impunity surrounding mob killings in the name of blasphemy, lamenting that those responsible are seldom persecuted. They argue that Nigeria's destruction of the liberal spirit of its constitution stems from allowing religious doctrines to influence state laws. The CEO of Christian Awareness Initiative of Nigeria, John Hayab, during the meeting also decried killings of Christians. And let's take a listen to him, Rufai, before I come to you. Also decried killings of Christians. And let's take a listen to him, Rufai, before I come to you.
Nigerians are being killed, and Nigerians are crying that this killing must stop. Fortunately for us, CRUZ started the conversation in America, but we too are the victims, and we are saying this conversation affects us and do something to stop it. So if you want to stop anything, just stop the killing. That's all. If this killing is not stopped, then this conversation will continue to generate other issues. Stop the killings. Prove that you don't want this killing. Let victims see that you don't want these killings. Parents, relatives of victims realize that those who kill their loved ones, the law is going after them.
And Mr. Joseph here has made the exact point. If we want this whole thing to stop, we have to stop the killings. It's not about painting Nigeria in a bad light or not. We have actually seen Christian killings. And there are videos of mass burials in Plateau State that have, resurfaced online showing, humongous coffins and all of that. It's really a sad situation, but we shouldn't trivialize it. I'd like for you to, talk about KANU's clarification with Daniel Bwala apparently trivializing the sensitivity of these Christian killings as well.
I think the attempt by the cable to rope IPOB into this, I think is highly condemnable. Because when you check the data and the statistics, not only IPOB that has been talking about the killings of a lot of Christians in this country. And I think let's not sway into tribal divisions. It's not fair. It's not fair.
What do you mean tribal? IPOB is a group?
No, IPOB is a group that is tilted towards a particular group. You saying that it was only IPOB that have been talking about Christian genocide online, accounts lead to IPOB, is very tribalistic in nature. Not that I support everything IPOB has done. Other groups have talked about it. The likes of Father Kuka has been speaking about the killings of Christians in this country. Even Reno Mokri have been speaking. If you want me, if you have the time, I can read some of Reno Mokri's past tweets as regards the killing of Christians.
Yes, he was a huge campaigner of freely Ashari.
So I can talk about, the attempt for you to say is now only IPO. Even Father Kuka, most of the people that...
No, I don't think, to be fair to the cable, they did not say only IPOB. They listed, if I did send you the investigation.
I saw it, but what was said... It wasn't just only IPOB. What was said was that accounts leaked to IPOB. You can go back and read the story. Let's not... This is not the time for tribal baiting. Please. It's not going to move us forward. I'm saying that because, Oji, I love this country so much. And when narratives like this start to jump, we start to go, no. Everybody has talked about Christian genocide. We have all been affected one way or the other. People have been affected. But what we're also saying is, I'm also part of those advocating that, please, I don't want Nigeria to be on that list of countries of concern. Because it's not going to augur well for us. And that's why I'm saying government agencies, go speak to them, while we also find a solution to the killing internally here. But for the fact that we are trying to say it's not happening, no, don't lose me there. It is happening. All this one that you are seeing in Benue, it's not that it was IPOB that recorded this video. No, it is happening. We have a problem on our hands. Christians and Muslims are being killed. Should people even be killed in this large number in the first place? I think that's the question we should ask ourselves. Look at people that have been buried today. So while we go to liaise with them, we should also speak the truth. And like I also said, please, anybody that's not trying to use the propaganda and turn things around, because see, in fact, let me even read some statements attributed to Father Kuka in the past. In an interview, he affirmed that there's violence against Nigerian Christians and had the characteristics of genocide according to international law. This is a 2020 interview. So we've all said this in the past. There's even an ECHO report by the UK. Kuka's comment in 2020 followed by ECHO finding of June 2020 report by the UK All-Party Parliamentary Group for International Freedom of Religion titled Nigeria Unfolding Genocide. So please, how we can stop it and stop this blasphemy? I mean, we've been here where we've talked about issues of blasphemy of some sort now. and the way people have been out there. Were we not here when we talked about, okay, I had not joined the RUFAI, then Eunice Olawale's case was longer. But other people that they keep, it's not Deborah's case.
Deborah, which is still...
it's not Deborah's case. We talked about Deborah's case, and no one. And what, see, Oji, let's even tell ourselves the truth. What happened after Deborah's case is the shocking one. When the people were arrested, didn't the city erupt? Weren't there squabbles? Weren't churches now attacked?
Yes.
I mean, let's tell ourselves the truth in this country.
Right.
So please, everybody has been talking about, let's solve the problem. That's all that matters. And as regards the tanker accident, Oji, the point I just really want to make is, you see, culture will use strategy for breakfast. If an accident happens in civilized parts of the world, the area is first cordoned off. If the area is cordoned off, people will not be able to go and scoop in the first place.
Right.
So those are the problems here.
Like I was saying, to be fair to the cable, they did a deep research and they had detailed, I did send you the research. I detailed the number of groups and people that have spoken about the, Christian genocide as well. But let me take this before I come to you. Speaking at the Vatican, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Matthew Hassan Kuka, urged the U.S. government not to redesignate Nigeria as a country of particular concern, a designation reserved for nations committing systematic, ongoing, egregious violations of religious freedom. Kuka argued that a CPC status would hinder current government initiatives aimed at resolving Christian persecution. He also warned that the designation would only increase fears, tensions, open windows of suspicion, and allow the criminals and perpetrators of violence to exploit. Instead, the bishop appealed for the U.S. to lift the weapons ban to allow Nigeria to better fight extremist groups. We're seeing that there's even a weapons ban from the United States, and which is a huge call. I think this is how we begin to tackle this menace of genocide in Nigeria.
For me, with all that's going on, the main word that continues to stick in my head is sovereignty. There's no country on the face of this green earth that doesn't have its issues and its challenges. Yes, they vary in extremity. However, it is the onus of that country to resolve its problems. We cannot invite outsiders, foreigners, to come and solve our own problems. It has been done in the past, not just in Nigeria, in several places. It does not solve problems. It does not lead to the best interest of the Nigerian citizen. Because when you call a country X, Y, or Z to come and solve your problem, that country is looking after its own specific interest. So our local advocates, our local politicians, our local, whatever they may be, the first thing is to prioritize Nigeria. I understand that it may be in good faith that people run overseas to see who can help them because they feel they are not being heard locally. But let this be a warning that help from overseas has proven to always be detrimental to countries and to the locals in most cases around the world. Here in Africa, the examples are endless. Which country that is resource rich has not been ridden by all kinds of deepening crises, never-ending crises, because they invited somebody to come and solve their problems? You look at an issue of Libya, for example. So whether it be dictatorship, authoritarianism, genocide, insecurity, killings, and so forth, we need to look for the solution within, and beyond within, regional solutions. Now, when you look at the digital space and all that's happening there, we have to be very, very careful with the narrative around the digital space, because we're living in the era of bot farms. Now, what's a bot farm? So a bot farm is you go, you invest, you set up a bunch of computers and gadgets and so forth, and they churn out millions and millions and millions of talking points on various issues. Now, I can set up a bot farm to speak on any issue and to create millions and billions of impressions on any issue whatsoever. So there are all of these other intricate issues, and it's not just an IPOB issue. Even when we look at government issues, it seems that government also has their own bot farms that push their own agenda. It seems that internationally in America, MAGA has their own. It's not a Nigerian phenomenon. It's the digital age. Now, we need to be careful that this era that we're in, where warfare has been taken to the digital streets to incite people, because when you look at Madagascar, Nepal, Peru, which other countries am I leaving out? Look at most of the unrest that has happened. Kenya, a lot of the unrest, it begins in the digital space. People should advocate, people should stand for what they believe in. However, it cannot be insightful. It cannot be treasonous. It cannot be against the sovereignty of your country. I denounce that.
Yes, advocate responsibly. And that's really the point. Well, let's tie the story in together. Well, in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, a Christian property owner in a viral video alleged that the Sharia Court of Appeal seized and auctioned his shop to recover a tenant's unpaid debt despite his possession of title deeds and the tenant's goods remaining inside. The incident, which occurred on Tuesday, has sparked widespread debate about jurisdictional overreach. Well, let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
I was in my shop 3 months ago. Some people just carry motor gun. Said they are for Sharia Court of Appeal that they are cheap litigation and cheap register as I auction my shop. I told them that I don't have any case with them. Why should they auction my shop? I built this church in 2012. I will rent their phone shop in number. I rent one to somebody. They said the person in the shop, you saw it then credit. I told the person owner, why don't you provide his goods? That the goods in that shop. They don't care about the goods. They say what they know is the to take that shop. I tell the person should come to the court and tell the people I'm the owner of the shop. I go there. Even though I'm a Christian, I tell them why should a Christian go to Sharia court? They say I must stop if I'm the owner, that they will leave me my shop. I take all the documents to them. Even when I reach here, they even see the document, say they will do investigation. All I see today, they just come here, carry paper come, say that I auction the shop, that they are being handed over. Because I'm a Christian, because I'm Igbo, they collect my shop. Sharia court, even if they will follow the law, as a Christian, what I have to do with Sharia court? Don't help me, don't help me, don't help me, Nigeria help me, my life finish you, my life finish you, my life finish you, I do that right enough. My life finish you, my life finish you, I do that right enough.
So sad. You know, some legal experts have argued that this represents a clear overreach of Sharia court jurisdiction, as the property owner is a Christian and the matter involves a commercial tenancy dispute rather than Islamic personal law. The 1999 Constitution explicitly restricts Sharia courts to matters of Islamic personal law where all parties are Muslim and have consented to the court's jurisdiction. We're yet to receive an official response from judicial authorities on this matter. Ayo.
So this is a note of warning. This incident is a red flag. I say this because, OG, you have already explained the constitutional provision for Sharia Appellate Court in Abuja. I'm sure a number of people did not even know that Sharia Court Appellate Court operates in the FCT, the Federal Capital Territory, that is supposed to be a mixed hub of people from different from different states, different ethnicities, different religious persuasions to live together in the Federal Capital Territory. To now see, as you already mentioned, the overreach of the Sharia court. The first instance is that I believe that it's high time for us as a nation to revisit this Sharia court provision. Because if we're saying that Nigeria is a secular state as stipulated in the Constitution, why do we have a court that is Islamic in its foundation, in the way it dispenses justice? And then when you talk about judicial or jurisdiction overreach, we see that it's a personal matter. So Sharia court, appellate court, is meant to deal with issues around marriage and family, estate and succession, capacity, mutual consent. So matters, civil matters like that. And like you said, emphasis on all parties must be Muslim. When they begin to now interfere in matters that have to do with Christians and Muslim, then we have a problem. But that's what happens in life. Once you give an inch, you will take a mile. And that's why I'm saying that we need to revisit this. As long as the Christians cannot ask for their own special court for Christians alone, we are raising a state of anarchy and is a judicial system where the lines are blurred and justice is interpreted based on religious sentiment. In saying this, like now turning up all the other stories around, Nigeria, CPC, whether or not there's Christian genocide, this attack against Christians is this. I want to appeal to this administration. Recall that when the president, for the first time in a very long time, decided to go with a Muslim ticket, these were some of the concerns that were raised.
Yes.
The optics don't look good. You might not say, oh, there's no relation, but the truth is that people raise concerns around this, and if this is exacerbated under this administration, then it speaks very bad about how they've been able to manage Christian-Muslim relationships under this administration.
All right. I mean, we're yet to hear from the judicial authorities on this matter. As soon as we get more information and more details on this matter, we will bring you, our viewers, up to speed. In any ways, they say that Abuja, I'm getting comments saying Abuja is under the penal code as part of old northern Nigeria region. So, I mean, until we see the documents on why this man's shop was seized, we will, make our final conclusion on the story. And we'll continue to bring our viewers up to speed.
Fellow Biafrans, listeners all across the world, ladies and gentlemen, please, I would like to make an open plea to the President of the world, the President of America, President Donald J. Trump, to please hurry to the aid of the Christians. As we speak today, I am glad America is not getting the message of what is happening in Nigeria, where Christians are being slaughtered in their thousands. I repeat, the Islamic jihadists, those that came with Boko Haram, ISIS, ISWAP, Lakurawa, and the rest of them, they have come to implement the vision of their Islamic leader known as Usman Dan Fodio, who said his mission is to create an Islamic caliphate in Africa, and Nigeria will be their centerpiece, the headquarters of the Islamic nation in Africa. Today, the rulers of Nigeria, the Islamic rulers, those that Britain told they were born to rule Nigeria, they have come with a tool known as Islamification, which is a process to Islamize Nigeria. As we speak, all the Christians are being slaughtered in every region in Nigeria. There is a genocide going on, and somehow the Nigerian government, they are in bed with this Islamic genocidist. As we speak, Nigerian government are sending a couple of so-called lawmakers to America to cajole the Americans and lie that nothing is happening in Nigeria, that Nigeria is peaceful, that there is no genocide of Christians happening in Nigeria. So please, I am making an open plea, more like an open letter to America, to God's own country. So please, do not give Nigerians government that ear. Do not listen to them. What they are doing is politics. Because they are in power and they are enjoying the loot, they assume what they are doing is politics. They know there's a genocide happening to the Christians in Nigeria, but they are scared to even discuss such matters. Instead, they are doing a peace deal with terrorists. They are entering a truce with terrorists. They've put the terrorists into a new funding policy known as the cheese policy, where they fund the terrorists, they pay them every month, and they feed their foot soldiers every day. So please, we are calling on America to listen to what the Christians are saying in Nigeria. At this point, I am glad that Fox News, they've picked up this story. So I will not speak on this one. I want you all to watch for yourselves. Watch what is happening, and at the end, listen to what a Nigerian pastor is saying. This man you're seeing here. Afterwards, I will come back and give a final analysis. If you're ready, let's go there. Listen.
35 faith leaders are calling on President Trump to act on the deadly persecution of Christians in Nigeria. Since 2009, over 52,000 Christians have been killed, including 7,000 this year. More than 18,000 churches have been burned since 2009, and over 5 million Christians have been displaced.
Fox News contributor Raymond Arroyo joins us now. Raymond, I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad we're doing this topic. We don't speak enough about the persecution of Christians in the world, the #1 persecuted religion in the world. What can you tell us about what's going on in Nigeria and why we've been so slow to respond?
Well, first of all, just to put this in context, if you put together all the Christians persecuted for their faith around the globe, Rachel, they do not compute to the high numbers in Nigeria. As Charlie just mentioned, 52,000 killed since 2009. That equals, there's a group called Inter-Society, which does pretty good polling on the ground. They say that's about 35 Christians killed every day, okay? 3 churches are destroyed every day in this area. And look, it's a combination. In northern Nigeria, you have both Muslims and Christians being killed. But in the Middle Belt and elsewhere, it's all Christians being slaughtered. And the perpetrators here are Boko Haram, whose name we know, an Islamic terrorist group. You have these Fulani herdsmen who run around on horses or on motorcycles with machine guns. They literally mow these Christians down. These farmers who are tending to their land. It is an outrage. And back in 2017, the Trump administration designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, which came with sanctions. Well, when the Biden administration came along, Anthony Blinken lifted that designation. He said these murders were being committed because of climate change. So that's why you see now Ted Cruz and 35 Christians saying, wait, we need to redesignate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. It's a bloodbath. It's a genocide.
It does seem like if this were happening to somebody else, you would see it on the front page of the New York Times, the front page of the Washington Post every day. Why isn't it?
Well, I think because A, it's Africa, and we just don't cover Africa the way we should, and B, for whatever reason, Islamic terrorism is just not covered. And when you look closely, 22 Islamic terrorist groups, including Boko Haram and others, have safe haven and have a safe quarter in Nigeria. Now, here's a little news. I was told this last week. There is a group of Nigerian legislators coming to Washington this week trying to petition the Trump administration and Congress from designating their country as a one of particular concern. They don't want this, but they're doing nothing to protect the Christian population there and to stop these radical Islamic groups from just laying waste to people on the other side of the religious divide from them. But I've spoken to Christian leaders there for decades. They will tell you they are very much afeared that Nigeria is going to turn into what Egypt and Constantinople became, which, remember, was a majority Christian country that over time you had an Islamic destruction of the faith, and that's what's happening in Nigeria in real time. We've got to do something here, at least put sanctions on this government.
What's remarkable, I couldn't agree with you more, and what's remarkable is despite this persecution, the number of conversions and the faith of the African church is something that's so inspirational. So we appreciate you joining us on this story. It's so important.
Thanks, Raymond.
Thank you, Raymond. It's really important. Thank you all for covering it.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's start the conversation today. Let's hear what is your own take about what is going on in the United States, where a number of notable people, senators, members of Congress, even journalists and talk show hosts, and quite a lot of the religious leaders in that country, they are saying that, look, what is going on in Nigeria is Christian genocide. Now, I want to remind you that we have the governor of Plateau State himself conceding a couple weeks ago or a couple months back, that indeed in his own state there is genocide. The third chief in Benue State also said there is genocide, but they didn't call it Christian genocide. So as a Christian leader yourself, Your Eminence, how do you, what's your take on these dimensions?
It is not now that we have been crying about the atrocities of the Islamic sects that had been violent and have been targeting Christians for a long period of time. You know that when I was at the end of affairs, I cried out because it is so painful when you are losing your members in week after week, and you are losing your churches, which it has caused our forefathers a lot to build over many years, to an unreasonable Islamic sect that wanted to wipe away Christians from the north, and possibly Christians from Nigeria. And I'm not saying they just without data. I'm saying this with data. Let me quote from the 2013 report of the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom, 2013. It goes like this. Boko Haram is an Islamic sect that sees the federal and northern state government as well as political and religious elites are morally corrupt. Boko Haram rejects the West and the secular state and seek the universal implementation of pure Sharia law. Pure Sharia law is to say that Christians are not existent in those places. Pure Sharia law to resolve the east facing northern Nigerian Muslims. Not only that, Boko Haram targets include churches, individual Christians, persons engaged in un-Islamic activities, those are Christians, Muslim critics, northern elders, schools, police stations, government buildings, newspapers, and banks. Furthermore, they reported Boko Haram has attacked churches on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day 3 years in a row from 2010 to 2012, initiating these attacks in northern cities with a history of sectarian violence in an effort to further destabilize Nigeria. It also has killed individual Christians. In January 2012, called on Christians to leave northern Nigeria. Did you hear that?
I heard it.
Called on Christians to leave northern Nigeria. Boko Haram attacked a Christian area of KANU on July 30, killing 45 and damaging churches. And prior to that day, had burned down several churches after the Nigerian government on May 14 declared a state of emergency in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa State. In addition to its bombings and burnings at and shooting of churches, Boko Haram has attacked beer parlors, poker players, and soccer film centers. My brother, what was the offense of the Christians they were attacking? If they want to establish pure Sharia in the north, why should they be killing Christians? Let them attack establish their Sharia for their fellow Muslims. Why are they attempting to wipe away the Christians from the north? Is there any country in East Africa where it is only one religion, the religious group in any region? We are intertwined. What was the offense of the Christians that necessitated them wiping away the Christians from the north in order to establish Islamic Islamic Sharia. If you know that people with that type of silly idea didn't have respect for human beings, especially the Christians, any of Islamic practice, they said they were out against it, which means right from the beginning they declare war against the Christians. When we are talking of genocide, is it because they have not killed many Christians? They also said that if any Muslim opposes the agenda, they will see that also as an enemy. We are not saying that they didn't kill others, but there was genocide on Christians in Nigeria because they killed our members in large number. 3 weeks after I visited MUBAI, they attacked MUBAI and leveled MUBAI down. I was an eyewitness. I saw many people they maimed in Benue State. Christians, our brothers and sisters. When we got there, the General Secretary of KANU, who know we stand there, he was just weeping. The main people cut the hand, cut the hairs, etc., as if they were inanimate objects or that can be cut down anyhow. So if we are saying that there was genocide of Christians, why should anybody be disputing that? Didn't the people say that they will wipe away the Christians from the north? If you are saying now that they kill more Muslims in the north, don't we have more Muslims than the Christians in the north? And besides, didn't they say that if any Muslims will oppose them, they will wipe that person away? Killing of the Christians is and is still an unintended consequence. The real motive was to establish Islamic Sharia in the north and wipe away the Christians. This is what I'm reading out to you, based on research, right. Now, based on what they said.
Right. So Reverend, just to give it a little bit more context. So this was what was happening in the early 2010s, like up to 2013 and thereabout. Do you still think, and I don't think there's a lot of dispute about the resolve of Boko Haram as a sect, but do you still think that that is still going on now with that kind of intensity today, about now, recently?
Let me ask you, has Boko Haram changed its agenda?
Well,
have they come out with a new goal?
No,
a new objective?
Absolutely, we've not had that. You are right, sir.
So I don't think that question will be necessary when they have not changed their agenda and their intention, and when they have not stopped killing Christians. Okay. Up till now, are they not still killing Christians in Benue? Are they not still killing Christians in Plateau?
Right. Okay.
How many Muslims are in Plateau?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I have made the point also that in Plateau and Benue, most of the population there are Christians. But my point is that, are we going to say that is the same Boko Haram ideology that is at work in Benue and Plateau? Is it the same Boko Haram ideology? Is that what you think, Reverend?
I said, have you heard them change their ideology? Have they come out with a new one that we can lay our hands upon?
No, I know. I'm just saying that. Do we know that it is also Boko Haram? I agree with you.
It is the same Boko Haram that split into ISWAP. From them, the Lakurawa or whatever joined them. And they continue to split and split and split. Okay. Have you not heard the moderator how they were even fighting themselves in order to gain the supremacy in command?
True. That's correct.
The same evil is splitting and splitting and splitting.
Okay.
Is it justice to us when people are now shouting and saying that there was no genocide of Christians in Nigeria with the blood of many that were killed? You can still remember the CAN chairman for Michigan local government, Lawan Dimi, whose throat was slaughtered When they were calling on people to come and pay ransom, didn't they call on us Christian leaders to come and pay ransom? Did they call on Muslims? They call on us and they call on government.
Well, I mean, so I
don't know if we cannot face the truth and are just trying to be political because it's damaging the image of the government, then we are not going to get the solution.
Very, very important point that you've made. So what will be your counsel to the current federal government? You know, clearly they feel provoked, you know, that the Americans are saying this. I agree with you that those things are facts. You know, at times we restrain, you know, from giving it that terminology just so because we don't want to create division. But the facts are the facts. So what do you think the president and the federal government ought to do in this situation? Ought to do in this situation?
For me, the release of the NSCIA cannot hold water because these groups came out of Islam. It didn't come out of Christianity. And what pains me from their release was as if everybody in Nigeria is a kid. They didn't know what had happened in our nation. If the ideology has widened now from the initial one, and many more, we sympathize with many Muslims that were killed as well. But if they say, well, there was genocide of Christians, but we had genocide of Muslims thereafter also, that would have even been more acceptable. But to come out and say that there is no genocide of Christians, I think they have infuriated me more. But it doesn't seem, allow me to see them as people that are ready to do justice. All of us are very sad that these people are painting our nation in this way, that the United States of America can classify our country like this. We know that government didn't cause it, but government will not deny what these people caused and what they have done. For government to be denying makes the government complicit in what has happened. And I don't see that I have confidence in them to do justice. Because if you are denied the reality, you cannot do justice. They have no hiding place. They can't deny the reality. The blood of the people they split, innocent Christians, is crying unto God for vengeance. Saying that it happened is a blatant lie. Right from the beginning. Have they changed their ideology? They have not. Government has been battling them and battling them. There are also been unfaithfulness on the side of some of the security agents that are complicit. But some people feeding fast on this matter. But as Bishop Kuka said, the military, the law enforcement agents, they must redeem their image. They must not allow these people to overpower them. They must not allow them to overrun the country. We are not happy, but you cannot deny Christian genocide. You cannot deny it. The United States legislators will not speak without data. You don't need to say you are going to feed them with your own data. No, no. When you are coming, they know what you are coming to do. Yeah. It is to say that they were ignorant. They are not ignorant. Didn't they have their embassy here?
Very true.
And they're not doing everything. Don't they have better equipment even than us?
Reverend, there is actually, a Yoruba proverb that I use to describe the situation. The Yoruba will say that ara ile eni lo mo si amudi. So even if we want to say that, okay, we don't want to cause disaffection, this is just mere sickness, outsiders don't owe us any obligation to call it whatever it is that they see it to be, which is why I want to ask you that won't you demand of the government to terminate all these killings, whether they are Christians or Muslims, that there is just too much killings happening even currently? You know, currently as we speak in Benue and Plateau. Clearly, those two states are Christian dominated. Won't you make a clarion call to the government to end these killings, Your Eminence?
Yeah, OJ, now that economic interest has really crept into this matter, we may say that they are killing indiscriminately. But right from the beginning, the agenda was made known. It was clear. I was listening to one of the senators on this your channel, Dunning Politics Today, saying that voting is a constituency, that they were killing Muslims. Are we saying that they are not killing Muslims now? But when they started with the agenda of establishing Sharia. Sharia is not Christian. It's not a traditional religion. It's Islamic. And they said that any Islamic practice, they are going to be against it. They were going to wash up people away. Any Christian from the north, they were going to wipe away. Can't you remember what they did in Southern Kaduna? Not for the present governor who is trying to address the problem. Yes, being more objective. Now that it's being more objective, is anybody crying like before any longer? For people that we think that we rescue the situation, when they are unfaithful, when they are biased, when they cannot address the truth, then the hope is lost. So these people are just playing to the gallery politics. Politics, defending their daily bread, not defending Nigeria. Okay. Not defending.
Yeah.
When I was the ambassador, we had Nigeria on the special watch list, and then we made them a country of particular concern because this was going on. And it's continued to take place, only it's growing. You've got more terrorist groups in the area, you've got more weaponry coming in, you've got more Christians being killed, and it's spreading throughout the region. You could have a caliphate, an Islamic radical caliphate, throughout the middle of Africa that would have 500 million people if you don't get on top of this. And yet, like you say, nobody even knows it's going on.
Check me out. Superstars Media. Lord Logan. Bloomington, Lord Logan. And it's Wild Flora Show. 1914 amalgamation is what we're dying for. 3 nations to 1 nation. Ever since annihilation, nepotism is nonsense. You and you, clap your hands. Biafra gonna come, clap your hands. Biafra, Oduduwa, we're free now. Freedom is gonna come, we're free now. Yeah.